Well, now we can't get it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kitty.
Tough
Lucas
times there, Cat.
Herp, hope, herp, hello. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. The Kimmer Show podcast. How, are we Facebooking and rumbling and YouTubing?
We're doing all of them.
Outstanding. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer, and with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. I assume later today, Holy Crap at Sports.
Yes, sir. Later today after the ball games. Happy Beltane to all our pagan listeners.
Well, Mayday, Belt, and again, this goes back really far.
Thousands.
Yeah, like, celebration of spring and pagan and various things. But then, like in the 1880s or something, it was like a union thing after the Haymarket riots. Mayday became a union celebration of workers' rights after the union got busted and murdered on the Chicago Square, whatever it was. Anyway, so it's made a whole bunch of different meanings. And I will also relate to you the other definition of Mayday and where it came from.
Okay. Well, do you remember? I don't know if you did it because you're older than me, but I remember at Columbia
older than you?
Elementary, we had a
Oh, we
pole
did.
out in the
Yeah.
recess thing, and
With crepe paper.
And there's crepe paper.
We had
did
colored
that.
crepe paper, different colors crepe paper, and we would grab onto a crepe paper stream and we go running around and we'd sing some song, I think, or a poem. Maybe
And you know what that was for?
Isn't that for gay people or something?
No, it's totally pagan. It's for fertility. The pole stands for a phallic symbol.
Yeah, it was the
And
spring.
the girls would run around
Yeah,
it.
so they would become fertile, so the men would fertilize them, and in every spring it's like the flowers bloom, and so do the young girls. About time to have their thing.
Watch The Wicker Man, by the way.
Oh yeah, with Russell Crowe. Is that?
No, the old one was Edward Woodward, the first Equalizer. That's
God.
that's one where Britt Eklund is spanking herself butt naked.
Oh my, Britt Eklund, Peter Sellers' ex-wife.
Yeah,
right?
and then
Okay.
Nicolas Cage did a remake a few years ago, and it's really awful.
That's where I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Awful,
Yeah, I never saw either one of those. Anyway, and Flounder, the mechanical mangler at the controls here at El Condo Flounder, with Lucas the podcat racing around, playing and having fun.
Who Kimmer was able to pet earlier.
I try. In fact, I've got video here somewhere, and I will pass that along when I get a second. This is podcast number 549 as we speak. It's May 1st, 2023 already. May, hey, guys, it's May.
I know. My year's just
It's
now
almost
started.
summer.
I know. Well, not where I live.
Is it that much colder down there, the Macon Mountains? I mean, they're pretty good elevated. It's like 8,000 feet of the Macon
It was in the
Mountains. man.
30s.
It's part of the Adirondacks, I think. It went underground for like 1,000 miles, and it sprung
comes
right back
back
up
up
again.
again.
It was like a volcanic thing. A lot of people don't know that.
It's taking all the cherry blossoms out of Macon.
Well,
yeah.
there you are. Anyway, so happy Monday, and good to be with you. And we got a billion things. First of all, some. I got so much, I don't know where to start. Some magazines for you, sir. Sports Illustrated with the Outlier on there. The
Outlier.
Outlier, yeah. And it's kind of a football issue and a thing issue and whatever. Also, I have a Vanity Fair for you. I'm not sure whether you also, sometimes they send me two and sometimes one, and I'm trying to keep track. So anyway, that's a Vanity Fair. Also, check this out. You'll never guess what's in this box. They can see it on YouTube, right? I mean, on Rumble. What are we on? Rumble and YouTube.
Let me see it and I'll give him a close-up.
Okay, well, anyway, so...
I'm going to do my Kreskin
Yeah.
here.
And hold the box up to, there you go. So I had the box here, and I told Pete, I said, you'll never guess what's in that box.
And I said, I'm going to think it's cookies.
Unfortunately, the box, it says right on the side I wasn't looking at, cookies. You idiot. So, you dumb, stupid. Anyway,
Should have
now
bet
look at
money.
this. Now, take these out, but look, where's my notes in here somewhere?
Where's my froggy?
Where's Froggy?
Damn it, Taggart.
Somewhere it's in here. Is a
Holy
note.
cow,
Look at all these.
look at that.
Well, if you want to show the little people.
What do we got here?
Here we go. Here's the
Mini
we'll show the whole thing.
sandwich cookie.
Well, and there's different kinds. There's chocolate chip. There's and they're all grandmas.
chip.
All grandmas bags, little bags of cookies.
Oatmeal raisins.
Mini
Blech.
sandwich creams. They're delicious. Oatmeal
mini
raisin,
chocolate
chocolate
chips.
chip.
If anyone feels
peanut
like
butter. I mean, and they're soft. And I mean, and the note says, hold on, where's my? Oh, somebody took my Froggy. Where's my Froggy? Here we go. We have a very nice, and by the way, this was at the post office box, Kimmer Media, post office box 1432 1432. And you got, I've taken a few for myself, so help yourself and take whatever you want. Post office box 1432, Alpharetta, Georgia. 30009. And there's a very nice note here. It's a Grandma's Cookies Variety Pack. And it says, a gift for you. Didn't want your mailbox to be empty.
Aw.
From Deborah.
Oh, thank you.
I honestly, back from the days tell me whether this is true or not. Back from the days we were on the radio, the Kimmer babes, who I lovingly and affectionately, chauvinistically say are Kimmer babes listening to radio, are the sweetest, nicest, funniest, clever. They get it. They have a great. A lot of them are what you would call a man's woman, which means you better be a man because she's demands having a man. If she's going to give something to you, you better be able to take care of her, kind of deal. You better keep up with her. And they're so sweet, and thank you. I love you all.
Do I. Now, as much as we love the box of cookies, if you'd like to send a box of cash or a box of checks,
cash is good.
We would be fine with that.
Now, here's the other thing. In fact, let me do a quick Venmo here. We got the other thing. We have Venmo, which is very easy to do. And again, this portion of the Kimmer Show podcast sponsored by Denise. I think I owe her 9 thank you notes. I mean, I swear to God, she did it again this morning. It's unbelievable. Annie paid us several cheeseburgers. Quote from conservative teacher. Keep up the good work, Ann, because we need you out there. Lisa, we know our friend Lisa, paid us 3 cheeseburgers, she said, for making me smile. Nathan with a very nice donation. Oh, check this out. He says, please sing your part in Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes. Well, if it's worth the money. Tracy sent us 3 cheeseburgers and said, I know it's a small amount, but geez, if all of your listeners would do this, we'd be all set. And big thanks to Farmhouse Printing Company. We'll use them again. So there you are. That's Venmo if you can do that. Anyway, so thank you. And Mark, we missed him late last week, and Denise again. So anyways, thank you all. You're very, very sweet, and I promise
Can I just say,
yeah.
I met the sweetest teller up at the Wells Fargo.
Really?
Hispanic girl. She was so sweet and nice. We had a really nice conversation. She's going to start listening to, well, I didn't tell her about this podcast.
No, not part.
But I told her about mine.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, no, your show, yeah, because, you got the podcast.
And I told her, I'm going to say something that'll piss you off. I'm just telling you. Oh, no, you wouldn't. Oh, yeah, I will.
Oh, you tried to reel her in. Now, wait, speaking of reeling her in, hold on a second. I recall last week you gave a hint that you were going to have a little nookie chick coming over to start start doing makeout with you at your little your Macon Mountain retreat.
You're projecting.
Bullshit. I want to know all about it. I want to know where you met her, what she looks like, how old she is, and if she's got a friend who is maybe a little older.
You mean a grandmother?
Come on.
Nothing. I'm telling you. That's
nothing,
all,
you dirty lying bastard.
All in your head.
You're a dirty lying bastard. You selfish son of a bitch. He never shares any of the good stuff with us. You rotten bastard.
A Southern gentleman,
man, give me a little something.
Kiss and tell.
Huh?
Nothing happened anywhere. There's nobody. You know what I did? I drove out of my way to go to the trout fishing festival. That's what I did this weekend.
Well, and I'm sure she appreciated that, to take her on an outdoor outing and then back to the cabin in the mountains of Macon and, put a fire in there, burn the old log in the old fireplace.
But you know what I did do?
You can call it whatever you want as far as I'm concerned. But
what I did do?
Yeah.
For first time in a long time, I was an adult.
Well,
that situation could have gotten out of hand very quickly.
And
I was the adult and rose above the situation.
What happened?
Well, there's a lot of crowd walking up and down. It's in Blue Ridge, a little town called Blue Ridge.
Oh, yeah, Blue Ridge is a beautiful place up in the mountains.
So it's a very touristy town,
yes,
so you don't mess with the people coming in there to spend money. Well, there was 2 redneck punk high school kids walking up and down with nothing to do.
Yeah.
Rocking around, fake tattoos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one of them's walking behind me, and he's reading my T-shirt.
Okay.
And he's just reading, Green Man. Yeah,
kind of mocking you.
Not mocking, just reading because he's got nothing else to do.
Well,
and I'm sitting there thinking, I can turn around and say, where are you from? And wherever he says he's from, God, I didn't know they could read there. That's really good news.
Yeah.
Or I could turn and say, is there a problem?
Yeah.
Anyway, because I could have taken both of them, both skinny, just malnourished rednecks.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm thinking, they're not touching me. And they're not harassing me. They're just reading the back of my T-shirt. But they're one step away from Armageddon.
They're close.
They don't know what the shit is about to happen. And they stopped. And one of them walked around, and they both walked around, and one of them turned around and looked at me, and then turned quickly around, and they just kept walking because I had my hat pulled down and my sunshades on. I looked like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, not someone to muck with. And that's what got me. When you're young and stupid like that, you don't realize you don't mess with people you don't know because you don't know what they're capable of.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore. Because things that used to end in with a bloody nose. And maybe a handshake afterwards, or it is way over.
Right.
God, did you realize they just arrested a 13-year-old kid for murder?
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta. I mean, one of the recent. And by the way, the Al Jazeera Constitution, the whole middle so-called local news section is just the crime beat. It's just all people getting shot and carjacked and everything else. And one of the latest stories was a mass shooting thing, and the killer is 13.
Yeah.
And it's not like his first offense. I mean, my God. Anyway, so but again, you don't mess with those
Not a great transition, but I want to hear more about the trout fishing festival.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, I mean, did you hear about it online?
The kids could do it. The kids had a little pole for them.
Yeah.
And there's rock climbing, and there's a lot of men in green hats and everything that walk around telling you about trout fishing. Yeah. I said, how come there are no trout in my creek? Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, I took Jennifer.
Any good food?
In fact,
food out there. Barbecue and my God, they put on the Ritz there.
I remember taking Jennifer and I think one of her little friends, she's probably 4 or 5 years old, to one of those trout farm places where you pay to be able to have your kid catch a fish. And sure enough, there it's a pond and it's like 20 feet. It's it's just fish, thousands of fish in there. And you put a little thing in the fish and you give her the pole and ping, bang, boom, you get like a 3 pound, and she goes and take the pictures. And it's like $30. Well, maybe this was back in 1976 or something.
Good Lord.
And it was what they do is they charge you by the pound or something to keep the fish, but it was outrageously expensive, which is fine because your daughter caught a fish, but it was a total gimmick. But again, it was fun, and it was an outing for parents to have their kid and take a picture and all that kind of stuff. Now, was this like a festival?
Yeah, they did everything. There were dogs everywhere. It was just so.
That's fun.
Everyone's friendly and having a good time,
Yeah. No, that's a good thing. Some business and thank yous. Can we do some business and thank you? Oh, let me do Venmo first. Oh, I did Venmo. I'm sorry, I did Venmo. I'm sorry. I'm very confused. A very nice letter at the Kimmer post office mailbox from Eric in Powder Springs. As I didn't even send a note, but sent us a very nice donation. Eric, thank you so much. I'm very, very, very grateful. Our sweet Cindy Double Y from
one Y.
Well, this is Cindy 2 Ys.
What?
Yeah,
we have
CYNDY. Wow. Yeah, double Cindy Ys. And she wrote a very nice, sweet, poor thing. She said, well, I shouldn't say that, but a sweet thing. She said, I realized that last month's check and the happy birthday to you and Pete never made it. So I'm sorry, even though it's not much, I'll get it figured out, replace it next month. And as I wrote it back, said, you don't have to, you're so generous and sweet. You don't have to feel like you replace anything. I mean, it's just the fact that you did this is wonderful. So thank you. Probably two more, we're done. 2 more. From, let's see, Chris and I think Brad and Chris. Brad and his wife, lovely bride Chris from Norcross. And it says, just a little something from 2 of the little people, longtime listeners. I listen while I'm jogging, and it used to be fine when your shows were about an hour. But now that you've gone to a longer format, like 2 hours, you're killing me. Anyway, keep up the good work. And I got 1 point on Kimmer's bingo shirt because I know you will mention that you used to run marathons. And so, Brad, Chris, a very nice donation. And by the way, they wrote, P.S., no thank you card necessary. So I wrote him back. I wrote him a thank you card anyway, and I also sent him a picture on me with Jack the Good Boy. So that was kind of cool. Anyway, so thank you. And one more. This is from Paul in Athens, Alabama. And he says, Kimmer, he says a little thing here. He said, the reason the Air Force, Army, Navy, and Marines bicker among themselves is that they don't speak the same language. For instance, take the simple phrase, secure the building. To the Army, secure the building means they'll post guards around the place. To the Navy, they'll turn out the lights and lock the doors. Secure the building to the Air Force means they'll take out a 5-year lease with an option to buy. Secure the building for the Marine Corps means they'll kill everybody inside and then set up a new headquarters. He says, by the way, I'm not sending you cheeseburger money every month for you to weigh 168 pounds. So get your ever narrowing ass over to Five Guys on a daily basis, followed by a cheeseburger factory chaser, my friend, and ditch the air fryer and start cooking in lard. Anyway. So anyway. Excuse me.
Should we get to the elephant in the room?
Please do. All right. Now, I am sick and tired. I mean, again, this weekend, okay? Now, I don't have a lot going for me. I go to the stable every weekend, like 4 days a week, the weekend stuff. But
in other words, you and Flounder keep your fingers on the pulse of what's happening.
I try to keep in touch, because
in the media business, you have
my
to.
world is what's going on around me.
Right.
If I'm not in touch with my world going around and now, we're linked with the Braves radio people. I mean, our 106.3, we're linked with the Braves. I've got to know everything that's going on with the Braves. And lately, I've been getting very ticked off with all this bull crap about putting the Braves on freaking Apple phone TV or some crap, or you got to look it up on a freaking iPad to watch the Braves now on Monday Night Football or whatever, the baseball, whatever the hell. And so this weekend, I'm thinking, okay, I did all my stuff. I'm working on the podcast. I want to turn on the freaking Braves game. Braves Sports South. Braves game, 7:15. Oh, let's, Fox Television Sports. Braves into 7:15. So it's like 3 different channels for the Braves. Saturday night, nothing. I come on some freaking special, the old timers, the way the Braves used to be, special for 2 freaking hours. I'm saying, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not going to buy an Apple freaking watch to watch the Braves game when you can't get it on television anymore.
Yeah.
And so I'm out there. All right, so Sunday, same freaking thing. I go to the stable, take my videos, I come back, I'm working on the podcast, I want to put on the stinking Braves game, and so I put it on, and I go on TV. Here we Comcast, Braves Sports South, 115, Fox TV, Major League Baseball, Channel 823, Braves Baseball 115, boom, nothing. Let's play Philadelphia instead. You dirty bastards. They will refuse to play the Braves, the World Series champions from wasn't that long ago, being screwed by Major League Baseball and the administration, and now they're keeping them off television for the whole freaking weekend. What are we supposed? This is crap. And so I even
You drug me into.
Well,
you drug Flounder into.
I had to say something. I'm on the phone. I had to.
You both were irate.
Well,
do you have it on your phone? Do you have the text on your phone?
I do,
Let's
here.
do a little bad text theater
all right.
here.
Here we
we'll
go.
all play our own roles. This
All
is
right.
what I got
All
over yesterday.
All right,
afternoon.
hold on. Let me find it here because I know I have it. Here we go.
All right, find a text.
Here we go.
right.
We go.
And you
Stand
started
one
off.
Second, I got to find. I'm almost there.
All right, you find it,
Almost
Flounder?
there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Of course, we find it light
Well,
years ahead.
it's here somewhere.
Mr.
Wait a minute.
Magoo here.
Well,
Oh my God.
Well, wait a minute.
So if you go to our text chain.
here we go. All
yesterday,
right, here we go. Yesterday at
3:20
3:28 p.m.
All right.
Now we're gonna. Should we use the actual?
Yes.
Yes.
Words?
Yes.
All right. So again, if you're offended, then give
Be
me
offended.
one of those. All right. You ready? Here's my first tweet at 3:28 p.m. So, no Braves broadcast all weekend. Fuck them.
Agreed. Bullshit Central.
Outrageous. I can't believe fans aren't freaking furious.
They haven't played since Friday.
Well, then, that's something else entirely. Never mind.
Know this. This will lead the show tomorrow.
Well,
Now, see,
then
my-
why
now, say
didn't it say something? It
In
never
my
said
defense,
great.
in my defense, I knew there were games this weekend. I was just more frustrated with the rain delays.
Well,
because
but
there were
why
rain
didn't
delays
it
and it
should
rained.
have said rain delay something to let me know, and because they play in other ball
That's all
games.
they talked about.
Well, but you weren't on there anyway. Well, I tried to find it.
This is what I get on Sunday. I'm sitting there going, are they drunk? Are they high? Have they been kidnapped for the last 48 hours?
It's very possible.
What am I dealing with here?
I don't know. I have no parking idea. Other than that, Flounder, any weekend fun activities of any kind there? Mention?
I went and grilled out with my brother. His wife was out of town on a girls' weekend trip, so I stayed there Saturday and hung out with the niece and nephew and did a little
Girls'
sleepover with
weekend
them.
Trip?
Yeah, a couple of the girlfriends went to a lake cabin.
Well, I don't think I like the sound of that. So let me get this straight.
Where scissor come to mind?
So a couple of the wives say, "Hey, let's go to the cabin in the mountains together, just a few of us, a few of the girls."
Just a little girls getaway.
Probably for fishing and
fishing.
crocheting. Probably do some crocheting and fishing, maybe a little
Fishers
hunting. They could
Crossword puzzles.
Yeah, they're probably hiking. Probably a lot of hiking
Probably
together.
a pillow fight.
Well, they could have pillow fights. Yeah, they could have had maybe
Feathers everywhere.
Pillows in the cabin fighting. Yeah, just the three. All by the. Yeah, probably. That's probably. Probably really. Nothing to see there.
So I put some tape on the couch, and he's not a fan because.
Oh, so it didn't.
So he doesn't scratch it. Yeah. So.
Lucas is double thinking whether he wants to jump in that box. There he goes. He wants to see his blanket.
He's about as big as he's going to get, isn't he?
He's a big goof. He's probably as big as he'll get. Maybe a little more. He might get a little fatter. Yeah, there's his blankie. There's from farmhouseprintingco.com.
That's right.
In fact, this portion of the Kimmer Show podcast, before we even get to any topics, is sponsored by our good friends.
That's
who,
right.
By the way, send us another donation to farmhouseprintingco.com.
Custom shirts and hats and signs and all kinds of stuff. There's no minimum order. You can get 1, 20, 1,000, how many? They'll do it all.
Yeah.
Any business or personal stuff you have.
Yeah.
Printing, whatever. They do it laser engraving as well.
Hats, towels, golf towels, T-shirts.
Anything. The business cards, whatever. And they do it for us. They do, the Kimmer Show. They do it for my show. They do it for Shannon Burke. They do it for everybody. It's cool.
Yeah.
FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
Yeah. Outstanding. Now, let's see. We got a billion things here today, including, I mentioned that this is, let me see, where am I? Did the mail, did the thing.
Mayday.
Okay, this is Mayday. And now, of course, May 1st, we mentioned this is kind of, originally was thousands of years ago, was a pagan celebration of spring and fertility and, things like that. Now, there's also the phrase Mayday. I assume we all know what the phrase Mayday means. A call
Mayday.
of distress.
Yeah.
Now you're in trouble. It's a trouble call. Okay. Do you know where it came from? I shall now explain to you where Mayday, the emergency procedure word, and it's actually spelled as one word, Mayday, not two words. It's internationally known as a distress signal in voice procedure radio communications originally. It was used primarily by aviators and mariners, but some organizations now, firefighters and police and so forth, will use it. A lot of organizations use it. Now, convention requires that the word Mayday be repeated 3 times in a row during the initial emergency declaration. Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. And that's to prevent it from being mistaken for any similar sounding phrase under noisy conditions where somebody's talking about a day in May. In case you hear somebody say, well, it's the May Day, we went over to the so-and-so. Oh, my God, it's an emergency. No, because he didn't say it 3 times, okay? Am I over-explaining this?
No.
But again, I think that makes sense.
I tuned out.
Well, I knew that just by the look on your face.
I came in about halfway, so you weren't quite at the point where I was like, it's too much.
It was gone. It said it made a bing bang. Okay, now the word was conceived originally as a distress call in the early 1920s by a guy named Frederick Stanley Mockford, in charge of the radio at Croydon Airport in England. Mm-hmm. He was asked to think of a word that would indicate distress and would be easily understood by all pilots and ground staff in an emergency. Since the air traffic at the time was, this is 1920s, air traffic between Croydon and Le Bourget Airport in Paris, he proposed the term Mayday, which is a phonetic equivalent of the French term Maydez, M-A-I-D-E-Z, which means help me, or Maydayer, a shorter frame, which means come and help me.
Or merde. Which is French for...
Which is go, well, in your pants. But again, it was to help me, Maydays, and so he called it Mayday because it originated from going into France.
Excellent.
And that's where the phrase Mayday became, and that's the way to think of it. Okay, there you are. Now, oops, Daisy, I'm going to go back to my thing there with my thing. There we are. Now, let's see, what else? Oh, I got so many things here.
Now it's a day to hunt down communists because they're out and about waving their flags, so they're real easy to spot in a scope.
Wait a minute, what now?
What? Not? I don't know.
Easy to hunt communists because of me? I don't. That's excellent. All right, wait a minute here. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, a couple things. A couple of funny memes came in kind of late in the day. One of them from Rob Schneider, the comedian. And he says, the People's Republic of China has announced there will be no presidential debates in the primaries. Oh, sorry. I mean, the Democrat National Committee has announced there will be no presidential debates in the primaries. By the way, how come there's no outrage about that? They're hiding them again.
No one cares.
The basement.
Everyone is so jaded and just thinks it's not even worth fighting because nothing will change.
That's right.
Nothing will change.
That's right. That's right.
They'll catch them red-handed,
Yep.
and nothing happens.
They're going to win because there are more of them, and they know how to gang together. They know how to win. They'll do anything to win. The end justifies any of the means. They keep proving it.
It's the party. The party's all they care about.
Believe them when they do that. They keep proving it. They had a coup, for God's sake.
They just showed the guy in the White House basically put together a coup of all the spooks, and nothing happened.
And by the way, not only Anthony Blinken, his wife. And again, he testified under oath. He said, "No, I've never had anything to do with Hunter Biden or any of his businesses." Now they've got messages between him and Hunter. He had a meeting with Hunter. His wife was a go-between between him and his wife, and Hunter to the wife to him. So I mean, he perjured himself in the Senate committee when he was running to be the Secretary of State.
They don't care.
Oh, my God. One more meme. You'll get a kick out of this, too, going around here. It's a picture of Aaron Rodgers with a New York Jets logo. And it says, I think this is from Babylon B. It says, Aaron Rodgers retires from professional football to play for the Jets. which I think is fairly amusing. Also, there was a really cool picture here somewhere. I got this off of Twitter. French President Macron has ordered drones to fly over all the rioting crowds, the protest crowds in Paris and all these other places. All the things they're protesting. So Macron has ordered all the police departments to fly drones to get the pictures of all the people over the crowds. So today on Twitter, those are all black umbrellas. The whole crowd all brought black umbrellas so the drones can't see their faces. So there's like thousands of protesters in Paris with black umbrellas on a beautiful sunny day so the drones can't get them.
You see, we don't have to do that here in America. Because if there's thousands of people in the street and they do that, somebody's going to shoot that son-of-a-bitch out of the sky.
That's right. That's where they try to launch it. Yeah. Well, we've seen a video. Remember when these things first became popular?
Shoot them.
And just a couple of guys and their wives in farmer overalls with guns raised up in the air. Look at it.
Now, there's a lot. Now, supposedly, it's legal to do that, to fly over people's private, but you can't ogle them or photograph them or film them or something. But you can fly over it. I think if they're in your space, you should be able to shoot them.
Well, again, how high up is your...
I know. How high does it go?
Yeah, I don't know. And again, at some point, you're going to be called reckless for shooting into the air where planes could fly without you knowing. So
I don't think you're bringing down a jumbo jet.
No, but I'm just saying, and they would use an excuse. This is the way they would give an excuse for you not to be able to use your gun in your property. And then I didn't even want to talk about that guy in Texas. Firing his shotgun on his property. The neighbors asked him to stop, please, because he was shooting his gun on his property. Yeah, an illegal immigrant who had been deported 5 times was on his property, well known in his neighborhood.
How can he have property if he's an illegal immigrant?
Living on where he lived, he didn't own it. Whatever, he's living there, living on his land. My neighbor knew it, and he shoots his gun he shoots his shotgun all the time. The other day, the neighbors walked over and said, "Could you please stop shooting your gun on your property?" And so he went to their house and killed them, including their children, and is now on the run. Yeah, like 5 dead, family, children, point blank, shot him in the head, and then took off. He'd been deported 5 times. Anyway, and again, but again, the border's closed. It's secure. We all know that. God,
you see that
my head's
some
coming
report
off.
came out that the little boys and girls coming across have been sexually attacked, raped more than once.
Yeah. Well, we also know the mothers have given their daughters morning after pills because they say you're going to have sex when you get over there. So take this afterwards. And we all, the panty trees. We know this is well known too. There were actually plants and trees and stuff in the wilderness over the border crossings where the border guards find girls' panties, and those are left by the coyotes who rape the girls and then leave their panties as a little souvenir for the other people. I mean,
Yeah, but
they know
and our
this. They don't give a
government
damn.
does nothing.
How many tens or hundreds of thousands of children have they lost now? We were just talking about last week, over the weekend, that they can't find 80,000 children who disappeared and came in alone or something. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's almost as if there was an international pedophile ring run by those in power that needed children and a supply of them.
Oh, my God. I mean, it's just...
I think Kid Rock came out with something again in the last week or so about that, basically accusing them all of being pedophile.
Let me skip out of nowhere here and do the... all right, a couple local things.
What?
I put on video on Facebook finally yesterday after I called about the Braves, because I'm already ticked off. Okay, so 3:30 I'm already ticked off. And I'm working Sunday afternoon after I do my stable stuff and whatever else. I'm working on the podcast, and so I'm trying to concentrate. I've got the news on and things like that. And my next door neighbor, and this is a townhouse community, cul-de-sac townhouse community. My next door neighbor has a station wagon in the front of his driveway with a door open and a big power machine in the back of it and the hoses, and he's going to power wash his deck and his driveway.
All right.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Without stopping.
That's a lot of. I have two buddies that were doing that this weekend because it's spring and it's time to spruce up the deck.
What's the problem?
Oh, no problem. It was wonderful. It was like music. In fact, I almost had an. I was so sexually excited. It reminded me of being in love and like being in heaven with flowers and little butterflies kissing your cheeks.
It would have put me to sleep.
Oh, geez,
I would have fallen right asleep.
Oh my God, 5 hours next door. And again, we can't say. I didn't want to say. I couldn't say anything.
It wasn't a jackhammer.
He was, power washing his place. You're taking care of your place. So, but again, oh my God, and I couldn't. Anyway, it just drove me freaking nuts. And by the way, there's now an effort in some states. We've talked about this in the past a little bit. In some states, to outlaw gas leaf blowers, and it's gaining momentum. And in fact, it's gaining momentum on a national scale because of all these fruit balls in the administration who are, save the planet kind of deal. And they've now come out with a plan to ban gas leaf blowers because they have now said that the emissions of badness, carbon dioxide, or all the other things come out of gasoline when they run, the emissions in a gas leaf blower in 1 hour is the same amount as a car driving from Denver to Los Angeles.
Bullshit.
I read it this morning. It's got to be true. So that's what they're saying. They want to go all electric. Well, guess where you're going to have to get your stuff to get electricity and batteries and anyway, whatever. So here we go. But I thought that was
Peter Zeihan, I mentioned him before. I was listening to one of his things over the weekend. And he says the whole EV thing is going to collapse in a year or two because there's not enough stuff to make it. Now that Russia is out of the loop of giving raw materials, China controls most of the others. We don't have Afghanistan anymore. And he says we're going to need 8 times as much lithium in the next few years as we have now.
Yeah, by the way, and it's not just one thing to make batteries. It's a lot of things to
cobalt
make
and
batteries.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole...
But he's pointing one thing out, lithium.
Yeah.
We're going to need 8 times more than that to meet the demand in the next decade. He says, and throughout human history, we have never, when we found something we needed to use like copper or zinc or something like that, we've never been able to increase it by more than 2% or 2 times in a decade, and now we're going to do it 8 times?
Yeah.
He says it's not going to happen.
I don't think so.
So is he just talking about vehicles or just technology in general?
The vehicles. And he says it's just, and the fact that that's just passenger cars. There's no electrical alternative now for semis or some of the, or planes.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's half or more than half of all of the usage of vehicles are those 2 things.
Yeah.
Not the passenger things.
And ironically, you mentioned that, I was noticed this morning in the Al Jazeera Constitution, again, this is how the left is now trying to counter the truth The truth is, we can't possibly just suddenly go electric. I mean, you can't do it in 10 years or I mean, it just can't be done. So that's the truth. To counter the truth, I'm not making this up. This morning in the Al Jazeera Constitution, a huge article, big pictures from a whole story of things. How the nation is so excited that the companies are making really fast charging electric vehicle stations all over the country. So we'll be able to handle all the demand for all those electric cars, and we're all going to be. I mean, they're just saying, boy, we've solved the problem. There are going to be so many stations we can all get an electric car.
But where's electricity come from?
I know. You got to plug it into a
coal-fired plants.
I mean, but again, it's a theme. It's a whole attack. It's just unbelievable.
And Luis makes a good point here. He says he's got all this electric trimmers and blowers and things. I tried an electric mower 10 years ago, and it didn't even do half a lawn before
plus
it
you keep
cried.
running over the cord. There you have to.
There's no power.
Just,
it was horrible.
Yeah. If you can have a totally battery, but I've used one where you had a cord.
They don't do those anymore. Now it's all battery.
Try that one.
The battery thing. So I went and bought a gas one because it worked.
Well, my father used to have us go around the neighborhood mowing people's lawns for 25 cents with a hand mower. No motor.
Yeah.
The old real hand.
Uphill both ways.
Have you ever even used one of those?
Oh, yeah, my dad had one. Yeah.
Flounder, have you ever used one of those old-fashioned real mowers, just the blades?
We're in a circle?
Yeah,
no.
with no motor.
No.
Oh my God! And
One of our
when the grass is wet,
yeah, you had to do it regularly because if you let it get too high,
you couldn't cut it.
Screwed.
And we would have to mow the lawns, and then we had those hand shears to clip all around all the tree trunks and the sidewalk and the stoops and everything.
That must have been a nice change
for 25 cents.
Yeah. But you know what? That push mower for you must have been a great change from the scythe.
The scythe. I used one of those too. I used to, when I was for a bricklayer.
My grandfather had those.
Some fields.
Oh yeah.
My grandfather had those. I used to do that. Oh my God. Let's see. I found some.
I still have the one. It's not a scythe. It's on a handle, and it's about 100 years old, and it's like a blade. That's got edges on both sides.
I know.
And it's like a scythe.
Yeah.
And I use that.
Oh, I know. I know exactly what it's not a thrasher. There's a name for it, and I used to know the name for that damn thing.
Good for snakes.
Yeah. A couple things. Let's see. Have you? I beg your pardon. I'm not quite caught up here. I almost am. Okay. Leaf blower. Okay. Have you maybe it's just me, but when I don't do a lot of. I don't ever go on anybody else's Facebook page. I don't even know how to do. I've never posted anything on anything other. The only thing I do is post on our Facebook stuff my horse videos when I go to the stable to play with horses and occasionally a podcast stuff. Now, have you when people react to my horse videos, I've noticed more and more, and I'm wondering whether you guys have noticed more and more of these sort of automated responses that say. For some reason you keep popping up on my Facebook page, and we should obviously be friends, but I'm too shy to ask you. So do you think we should be friends? Have you gotten one of those things? You haven't gotten those?
Nope.
Oh my God, Flounder, do you get those things?
I really don't check my DMs that much.
I'm telling you, I get them literally every day.
They're bots.
Every
They're
day.
bot accounts, probably.
Well, it's obviously, and it's from some girl's name, Didi Frukinicki or something, and so they're most of them just say things like that, that we should, can we be friends or whatever. And I gotta find the one here. Here we go. But this one is the damnedest thing I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. This is people react to my one girl reacted to Facebook saying, that horse is like a dog in equine clothing. And Kimberly said, oh, you've got the horse mastering the art of persuasion. And then there's this one from Lisa Orsini. Hello. In one's life, one will meet 8,263,563 people, greet 39,778 people, befriend 3,619 people, and approach 275 people. But in the end, they all get lost in the crowd. You appear on my recommendation list. Do you believe in fate? I don't want to be rude, so I'll comment for you in advance. And if you want, you can add me as a friend. Gee, holy hell. Yes, in one's life. Oh my God! In one's life.
Click.
But and I'm getting them every day.
I'm not getting those.
Sure, every freaking day. I mean, it's the damnedest. And it's got to be an automated, gimmick to try to get you to befriend them for what? That eventually they'll get your money. I mean,
don't know.
Every day. Anyway, okay.
Humans.
It's got to be hideous. Befriending mess. Okay, now should we let's do a little newsy thing, shall we? We'll do a little newsy thing, and then I'll come back to.
Oh, by the way, and we're not going to give Braves updates during the show because it's silly because a lot of people don't listen till
Well,
afterwards.
they're playing. It's a doubleheader, so they're playing in
It's
the
good
afternoon.
news so far, but it's early, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, again, yeah, it's hard. You can't do.
But if we do, people listening later today or tomorrow, they're not going to care.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we didn't talk about it, but what about the
draft?
Well, no, the 4-0 lead we had last week going into the 9th.
Huh? Oh, let's don't talk about that. They should not have won the game before that, so it evened out. But
That's right, because we came back.
I've been saying for years, AJ Minter is not a closer. He should not be in situations where they keep leaving in for stuff like that. Iglesias has got to get back quick because you can't have mentors. And even though that wasn't a close situation, you can't give 5 runs in the 9th inning to a team that can't hit squat.
Yeah.
And they did it. And that's just it'll happen every once in a while. So.
Yeah.
But the Falcons draft, you got to talk about the draft at some point. What do you think?
Well, first of all, the sports section, Braves game rained out for second day.
If only you'd read the paper.
Anyway, in case there's anything you want to see. The draft. The draft. They got well. First of all, I'm not surprised they didn't take Jalen Carter. I think they were concerned.
He's lazy.
I think they were concerned about his character.
Yeah.
Again, it was.
Sorry, Bulldogs fans. He's got bad character and he's lazy.
Well, it was important to me. Remember when the first girl, whose name was a boy's name or a genderless name, got into the Citadel. And I can't Shannon, whatever it is. And they got into the Citadel, and then they found out she was a girl, and all hell broke loose. And so the first day she showed up, she was overweight, out of shape. She couldn't do anything, and they mocked her the whole. It was a disaster. And my first thought was, my God, if I was going to be the first girl to go to the Citadel, I'd have been, a monster, muscle-bound freak, ready to take anything. It was, humiliating for her that she was so overcome with the power of it all that it overwhelmed her. She couldn't handle it. And the same thing happened with Jalen Carter. Not only did he show a lack of character, but then he didn't nail his pro day. Oh my God, how could you not have gained, how could you not run a 4.2 40?
Now, he could turn out to be a Hall of Famer. We don't know.
He probably will be.
We don't know. But that would be Falcons' luck that the first Bulldog they pick in the first round will be a guy who doesn't want to play football, unless he feels like it that day.
Well, again, you can't you can't trust him. There were a lot of superstars like that. Who's the guy, number 88 for Minnesota?
That guy.
Got in trouble as a kid. He's now on TV all the time. The wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings.
Moss.
Randy Moss. He had several terrible character issues, and sometimes
kicked
he
played,
out of Florida. Sometimes he didn't.
That's how bad it was. He was kicked out of Florida State.
Yeah. How could you get kicked out of Florida State? And he's in the Hall of Fame. So it's very possible that Jalen Carter could be the best. He could be another Lawrence Taylor, or God knows. I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
inside lineman.
But again, I
hope he is. I hope he does turn it around.
I could never wish him ill. Whatever. So I don't have a problem with that. And I'm, frankly,
he should be in jail.
Well,
right now.
Well, he should be in serious trouble.
He should be in jail.
He not only, he committed a crime.
He's not responsible for the wreck, but he was part of it. He was part of it. He left the scene of the accident when he knew people were hurt, and then he lied about it.
The cops twice. Yeah, he lied a couple of different times. And then finally came clean. Anyway.
Meanwhile, you have Bijan Robinson, who is, as far as we know, knock on wood, a complete,
seemed to be a great
perfect
guy.
citizen, great running back. Yeah. He's going to be fun to watch, win or lose.
Well, here's the thing: we don't have a famous star passing quarterback. We have a young kid. We don't know what's going on. The Falcons are the number 1 running team in the NFL. Yeah. So it made perfect sense. And you mentioned last week, Arthur loves running backs.
And you're going to need more than one running back. Yeah. So you have a good one with Algier. Now you got a great one with Robinson, which will only make Algier better. You got Cordell Patterson. and you put those guys out
Keep
there
them
2 or
fresh.
3.
Yeah.
Holy cow! For 17 games,
and this new guy can catch out of the backfield. He can block. I mean, he looks like a. They said he was the best athlete in the draft.
and they still won't
And we
be able
got
to.
him at number 8.
They won't be able to stop anybody. They have no
Yeah.
defense. They can't
Well,
sack a quarterback.
Well, we need cornerback. Yeah, I know. So again, but again, in terms of the Falcon draft, and didn't they get another tight end? Did they get another?
Yeah, I think they did. They got a few things.
And a couple of Georgia.
It's funny.
tight
I've heard
ends went too.
most of the local people say it was a great draft, and most of
they
the
got high
national
grades.
people are saying it's C.
Yeah.
C.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how to grade it other than
They
I
don't
think
know.
I hope this guy's a superstar and bingo bango. Let's see. All right, hold on. Coming up, we'll talk about the Plumbers. We'll talk about Breaking Bad, kissing somebody else's freaking wife, dear Abby. Also, God, they're going after Trump because he still tried to get people to give him money. And now that is suddenly a crime. This is the damnedest thing I've ever heard of in my entire freaking life. But first, this message from our friends at Wise RV Glass. I love this company. Dad Carl retired some time ago. Wise RV, but Russell's taken over. Wise RV Glass is the company that will take care of any glass issue if you have an RV or a motor coach or camper vehicle like that. It might be something simple as a spider web crack or a beginning of a crack in your front windshield, even those flat one-piece, hard-to-find ones. A rear view mirror, side mirror, a window, maybe a double-pane fogged-up glass, whatever it is, any kind of glass issue. Wise RV Glass will take care of it where you are. It's an all-mobile service. What a great idea. They'll save you time and money, put it right in there for you. You don't have to go find anybody. You got a hold of them, bing, bang, boom. And no job is too small. You're thinking, oh, well, it's a side view mirror. But no, that's what they do. It's what they do. Give them a call. Get them on the web. Wise RV Glass, all-mobile service. No job too small or too big, by the way. All of North Georgia. All of Metro Atlanta, what an idea. Wise RV Glass. Here's the phone number. Area code 470-345-6521. And on the web, wiservglass.com. Yup, today's. There goes Venmo. What's the matter now? All right, keep moving. Let's see, where was I? Oh, let's do a couple of newsy things. I want to talk about Hunter in a second here and all that kind of stuff. And also, we mentioned Blink in the business. Huge story once again, big color pictures and big headlines and so forth. The Al Jazeera Constitution. Prosecutors eye Trump fundraising. Now they're going after him for whether Donald Trump made solicitations for money and whether it violated wire fraud statutes. This special counsel, Jack Smith, who's been out to get him, they're going even further. Tell me whether you think this makes any sense. I mean, I'm livid about this. They cannot stop. He's living in their heads. Special counsel Jack Smith is trying to determine whether Donald Trump and his aides violated federal wire fraud statutes as they raised $250 million through a political action committee by saying they needed the money to fight to reverse election fraud, even though they had been told there was no evidence of election fraud. Oh my God! So Trump says, I think they stole that election from me, so I need money to help us find out about it. And they're saying, well, there was no evidence, so therefore you're lying and using fraud for wire transfers for international money to transfers because you're lying about why you want the money. Oh my God! I mean, I can't believe it. So now they're going to put him in. They want to put him in prison because he raised money to help defend himself against accusations that he was. I can't believe any of this.
This is all to keep him from being able to run.
So he can't run again.
And this country will explode if they get away with it.
I swear to God, there's going to be
It's going to be
a
nasty.
problem.
You cannot tell us who we can vote for. If Democrats, that'll be a bridge too far, and that'll push people over the edge.
They'll never stop. I mean, I'm
No,
going
why
after
should
him
they? They're
because
winning.
he tries to raise money, and they say, well, you couldn't have raised money for that because it was a lie. Oh my God! You don't have the right to tell me whether I have the right to raise money because I don't believe what you believe.
Right?
Oh my God!
They run everything now. That's why they're doing this. It's like the communists, the Soviet Union. One party. We have one party running things.
That's right. Again, if there were any kind of checks and balances, if there were any, I mean, Republican. If we had Republican majority, we'd shut all this down. This wouldn't ever
They
be
have
happening.
no balls.
I
Republicans
know.
have no
It's over.
balls.
We're going to lose again in 24. We're going to lose again. We're going to lose again. And Blinken's got to again. We mentioned at the top of the program. Antony Blinken, when he was working for Biden, used his wife as a go-between to get involved with Hunter Biden, and then lied about it when he was getting his confirmation hearing to the Senate. I mean, it's just bing, bang, boom. And he'll get away with it. Nothing will happen. The same way, they've known about Hunter Biden. We'll talk about the Hunter Biden case here in a second. And one of the charges that's been pending against Hunter Biden, as we all know, was the federal gun form charge, where he lied on the federal gun form about being addicted and having a problem with the history and so on and so forth. And he lied clearly. That was 5 years ago. 5 years ago when the FBI had that information. No charges. Now, Hunter Biden is down in Arkansas. And this, huh?
What happened last time he was there?
Well, yeah. Now, he's in Arkansas, and there's a little 4-year-old girl named Navy Joan. And one day she's going to read about how the Biden dynasty disavowed her very existence. She is the little girl who was born to the stripper who had sex with Hunter Biden, and then Hunter Biden denied any knowledge of her. He said, I don't know that girl. I never saw that stripper. I never had sex with her. And then the DNA showed, well, yes, you did after. He's, oh, well, okay, fine. Oh, well, so you got me, you bastards. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just wrong. Anyway, but again, he has denied her existence. He said he didn't have any money. She had to sue him in court to get him to pay child support. And then what happened, what an idiot. Recently, the new step in this was, recently, Hunter went to court, his lawyer went to court to tell the court that Hunter couldn't afford the child support anymore, so he wanted to pay less. And the mother, the stripper, the mother of the love child says, oh, no, you don't. So now she's suing him, and they're going to make him show where his money is. Prove you don't have the money, which is the dumbest thing his lawyers would ever want to have to do to the Biden family, because now here comes the laptop. Well, it says here in this laptop, Mr. Biden, you got $2 million from the Chinese. Where's the money? What do you mean you don't have the money for my child support? Oh, my God. And I mean, this goes on and on and on and on. But before we get to that, we'll get to in a second. First of all, think about this. This little girl's 4 years old. Her mommy now wants to change the little girl's last name to Biden because she is a Biden. Even though President Showers with daughter has never acknowledged her, he just again the other day said, well, you know, I have 6 grandchildren and I talk to them every single day. Actually, he has 7. Yep. Because Navy Joan is a 4-year-old, number 7 granddaughter of the Biden family. He will not acknowledge her. At Christmas time, he hung stockings for the 6 grandchildren and the dog. They hung stockings for the 6 grandchildren and the dog, and not for 4-year-old Navy Joan. Someday, she's going to know all about this. She's going to, imagine going to school. You know how kids in school are. Wait if she gets into probably 4th grade maybe? Oh, you're the one that danced with your daddy.
Your daddy's a crack addict.
And your mommy was a slut stripper who got knocked up by the guy in the bar. Oh, brother. And then he denied you, you know. And now Hunter says he's broke. All right, here's my question. I haven't heard anybody mention this on TV or anything. What happened to the painting money? His finger paints. I thought he made $700,000 for all his finger paints, each one, and we didn't remember the scandal was we didn't know who bought them. Yeah. His China friends, his spy friends who were buying him to pay him off. Where's that money? What do you mean? I thought don't we remember he made the average $500,000 for selling his paintings? Am I wrong about that? No. And now he goes into court and says, I can't afford to pay my child support. Oh my God.
That's what comes with the Bidens. They have handlers. They themselves are not very smart.
I mean, I just. Oh, and by the way, for the record, this morning as I'm putting together the podcast about the Hunter thing, and I went to Google and I Googled in Hunter court today or something like that, and it was a series of articles about how Hunter is going to have a court things concerning old things. There was nothing about today's court hearing in Arkansas, not one thing. You had to scroll down 50 places to try to find a story about it. So I went to, what's the other one? The other Google place that we go to. The other app. It's on my phone.
Rumble?
Rumble. No.
YouTube.
No, God. You guys
Okay,
are
if it's not
freaking
Google,
killing me.
Safari.
No, it's the DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
Thank you.
DuckDuckGo.
So I went to DuckDuckGo, and they had the story. The story. But Google deliberately is not allowing you to look up today's court hearing about Hunter Biden.
That's right.
Or they're making it difficult, if I put it that way. I mean, I said, where the hell is the freaking story? It was all features on the past
Is
news.
it Samsung phones that are about to kick
Jeez.
Google off and go with Bing? I didn't know Bing was still around.
Bing is still around.
And I actually preferred Bing.
I used to use Bing.
because they used to have better photo. When you're looking at a photo of something, they had better photos at Bing.
Yeah. I used to go to, because when I was looking for one-liners, I'd go to all of them, and I remember Bing was
liked
good.
Bing.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, they're just basically trying to hide the freaking story. But now the issue is Hunter Biden's secretive finances center stage in Arkansas today, right now. And again, the judge ordered Biden. Oh, two things. This actually is pretty good. Originally, before today's court hearing, while they were in court and arguing motions, Hunter Biden's lawyer argued to the judge. He said, well, Your Honor, they're going to try to bring in this so-called laptop to try to prove that there's existence of money. And there's no proof at all, Your Honor, that this actually is Hunter Biden's laptop. And the judge says, no, whoa, hold on a minute. He said, are you telling me that's not his laptop? And then he had to backtrack the whole time. So that was pretty funny. But that's the length to which they'll go. And finally, the lawyer said, well, there's no reason for Mr. Biden to be here at all. And the judge said, no, I want him in the courtroom. None of this business about going, YouTubing or Zooming or whatever. I want him in the freaking courtroom. So that's why he showed up, sneaked in the back door, but they got video of him coming in today. So now he's in Arkansas. A lawyer for the mother says that he's trying to stifle the discovery into financial affairs and reducing his child support because he earns less income. And by the way, Hunter Biden knocked up the stripper while he was cheating on his wife with his dead brother's widow.
Yep.
So he was cheating on the wife, cheating on the widow, and knocked up the stripper, and then denied her even existence. DNA proved he's the father. He's in court. The president's son, they're going to prove, had business deals in China after his father's tenure as vice president, raking in millions. They got $5 million from a Chinese energy company conglomerate CEFC in 2017 and 18. Their deputy paid Hunter a $1 million retainer. Hunter referred to Ho, the chief deputy Chinaman, as that effing spy chief of China in a voice recording.
He's good.
Well, depending on how or what happens with this court, will it open up a can of worms for anything else related?
Absolutely. Evidence in a court is factual evidence.
Nothing's gonna come from this.
Well,
Nothing ever comes from this.
No, okay. This is a separate. This has to do with with the child support for the stripper. Has nothing to do with his theoretically connection with taking bribes or being a foreign agent or anything like that. But. And the danger is, and what's going to happen is, he's going to plead guilty to a couple of misdemeanors of not registering as a foreign agent and not paying his taxes on time, and he's going to get a couple of misdemeanors, and it'll be done. Until maybe we get some Republicans who actually will have a hearing that leads to a federal charge, because someone's going to have. How many people?
There's too much evidence against
How many
them.
people involved in the Hunter Biden scheme of? And by the way, I read one article that was very confusing on all these companies that are linked in to keep his name out of it. But someone's going to have to think on it. How many people would be willing to go to prison instead of Hunter Biden to keep him from going to prison?
How many people want to stay alive?
Well,
I don't think they wouldn't kill people.
Well, I know the Clintons did. I don't know whether the Bidens will. We know that.
They're Democrats.
Well, then and they probably then nope. Then the answer is yes. They will murder people. There's no question about it.
In our opinion.
There, you answered your own question.
You answered my own.
Well, I answered it for both of us. Let's see. Speaking of outrageous things, and mostly my stomach hurts.
What's the matter with your stomach?
I know my life is a thing. I thought this was farking outrageous. Now I got to find my
Is it
place.
a tumor?
Okay. Huh?
Is it a tumor?
It's a tumor. It could be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
No, it could be a tumor. No, it's just my basic attitude. Big story. Talking about we mentioned repeatedly, and again, one of my main concerns about what's happening to our culture is that I truly believe we have lost the true definition of free press. We have really been sidetracked. And what pains me, I'm sad about it, because my master's is in journalism, political communication. My whole life has been the news and public information, stuff like that. And what's happened is that nobody's overreacting in any way, as they should be, to the death of the freedom of the press and the bias in the media. And it's just, it's going by and people are just living with it. Here's an example of how bad it's getting now. And notice the words in this story. Al Jazeera Constitution, written by Ty Tagami from the AJC. Big headline, Georgia National Guard targets high schoolers using cell phone location. Children, Metro Atlanta, the Coast and Georgia National Guard military force is beaming ads to people near many high schools, reaching military aides. Kids as well as nearby elementary and middle schools could be targeted. Targeted? The Georgia National Guard is targeting your children. Like with guns kind of deal?
Well, they're probably desperate.
What they're doing is advertising. They've signed a contract. I didn't know they did this. There's a New Jersey company got $500,000 in order to beam beaming ads into people near Georgia high schools. They're using a geolocation smartphone app to you within a mile of 67 Metro Atlanta high schools, an app to reach people of military age. The technology does not discriminate, so younger high school students and kids at elementary schools could also be, quote, targeted by the app. It's an ad campaign targeting social media platforms such as Instagram, Snapchat, streaming television, music apps, not TikTok, which is banned by the Defense Department. But they're geographically targeting individuals who they hope will therefore think good things about the National Guard and one day join the military. And under federal law, by the way, schools must give student phone numbers to the military, but the parents can opt out of that disclosure. But people are saying now this is just, they're deliberately targeting younger children by this horrible National Guard people, these military people trying to get our children to respect the military. Ooh, what a horrible idea.
I think it is a horrible idea.
I don't.
I don't want anyone joining the military right now because they're not training them to attack someone else. They're training them to turn their guns on us.
Well, see, again, this is so screwed up. I'm a freaking Marine. I'm no war hero, and I'm no military guy. But I can't stand. I can't handle this.
We're the enemy now, not China. We are.
I just. To try putting recruiter on a high school campus. I remember the first time as a kid where I saw a Marine in dress blues. And I thought, oh, my God. Anyway, I don't want to, I'm getting into it. I never served, gay, homo. Much better now, though. Okay, here's another example of what's going on here right now.
All
right. Let's see. Hold on. We got it right here. If I could only find it. Hunter. Oh, here we go. You ever heard of Emerson College? Emerson College is a very well-known radio, broadcasting, electronic engineering school.
Their team is known as the Biggins.
The Biggins. Emerson Biggins. Emerson Biggins, baby. Emerson College has now decided to allow and require menstrual products in all of its bathrooms, including all the men's rooms.
Where's Emerson?
Emerson, I believe it's Boston. I'm going to try to find the thing now.
Staff?
Ben's.
Where is Emerson College? See if Siri can get it before Flounder. It is in It's on Sunset Boulevard in L.A.
That's in Boston,
And there's
Massachusetts.
another one in Boston.
Boston,
There's two
okay.
of them.
I win.
I think this is probably the one in L.A.
Those are two horrible places to go to school.
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard is not a bad place to go to school. I'm
Now?
sorry. If you get close to the coast, it's pretty. The farther
I'm just
closer you get
referring to the
ocean.
people.
I remember driving down Sunset Boulevard.
Come
in
on,
the
you got to
60s.
do it. You got to go to Ventura Highway.
Yes.
and the
Ventura
Sunset.
Highway.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you're killing me.
You got to do it.
And one of these days, I'm going to go to the corner of Winslow, Arizona, too. You know,
I don't care about that.
But I drove Sunset
Oh, my
Boulevard back in the 60s when it was on TV every weekend. With
the closer you get to the
77
ocean-
Sunset Strip, remember that?
Yeah.
Kooky, where's your comb?
Back in the 90s, it basically gets. There's not a lot of stuff as you get toward the ocean. It probably is now. It's probably built up
No
now.
idea. God, it was 50 years ago or more. Anyway, menstrual products in all the men's rooms. They took a
Science.
survey and say, by the way, the group that now has required menstrual products in all of the men's rooms at Emerson College is called Emerson Flows. That's the name of the group. Yes, we at Emerson Flows, an advocacy and education-based organization dedicated to fighting for inclusivity, menstrual equality, and the destigmatization of menstruation and periods. Menstruators can't control when and where their periods occur. It can happen anytime, anywhere. It'll not help them any if the nearest bathroom to their classroom is a bathroom that does not dispense period products. And while they cannot control this, the Emerson administration has controlled in-house period products in all Emerson bathrooms to avoid a situation like this from ever happening. We need your help. We need you to sign our Emerson Flows petition. And they've dedicated $7,000 a year of menstrual products to all the men's rooms at Emerson College. Which is, and by the way, they're saying now we know Emerson Flows. We understand that the majority of the menstruators are cisgender women, but we should still treat men who also menstruate with the same level of respect. And by God, you get period products just like everyone else, and you get the same amount. Because you're just as valid.
Any real woman would stand up and go, "You've just insulted me with
Are
this
you
cis.
kidding
I'm not
me?
a cisgender woman. I'm a woman. There's no cisgender bullshit."
I've never even heard that. I've never used that. I've never seen that phrase until, a year, 2 years ago, maybe? Or, recently, all of a sudden? Where are the women of America?
Stand up for yourselves.
Where's the glorious? Come on.
They've been paid off.
No, I'm serious. Why aren't they? You would, okay. You would think. See, what bothers me is, and again, I love our Kimmer babes are different. Women who listen to this podcast are special.
They're intelligent.
Horse women are special. Women who are into all this
Horse women.
Horse women are special, and podcast Kimmer babes are special. But generally speaking, how can you explain how your modern day, your basic woman, a wife, housewife, single mother, not whatever, your basic woman in America today could support a political party that by definition believes that you're no different than a guy who says he feels like a girl? That his rights to menstruate are the same as yours, and he has the right to go into your locker room and take off his clothes at your health club. How could your average woman vote for a party that demands that? Seriously.
Because they're nuts.
How could a Jew vote for a Democrat? I'm sorry, a Jewish person.
Please.
You Jews, isn't that, it's horrible. If you say the word Jew, it sounds bad.
Did you watch any of the draft?
Yeah.
Did you see all those
Georgia
commercials?
guy?
The anti-Jewish ads that were going on?
The father and the kid. The father read his kid's phone. You hate Jews? Where did this come from? He said, you hate those people? Yeah, I said, there's some very tough things. And then, of course, you got the Georgia football player who got drafted, and he was on a live thing, and he talked about Ching Chang or
About the
something.
Asian guy?
Idiot. I mean,
I will say this, though. This whole thing, there's two things about that. Having other people do the thing. Germans or Spanish people.
Frenchmen, German, Chinamen.
These kids who are now adults have waited their entire life to hear their name called at the draft. And a lot of those, you couldn't understand who the blink they were talking about. Their accents were so thick. And if I was that, I'd have been so pissed off if that was my name being done by someone who can't even pronounce my. And they got the pronunciation guide right there, and they still couldn't do it.
I know.
And there was something else. Oh, I noticed. Did you know there's no more white kids in Germany and England? Every kid they had to announce it was African.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
I'll be darned. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, they went out of their way to do that.
Socialization of Europe.
Diversity is our strength.
Equity, baby.
Of course, that's never worked anywhere in history, but why not? Let's try it here again.
Why not try it here?
Multiculturalism has been a fantastic success.
Well, there is hope, possibly. Have you heard about this middle school kid who wore a shirt to school and got sent home for it? He's 12 years old. He's a 7th grader at Nichols Middle School in Middleborough, Massachusetts, named Liam Morrison. He was taken out of his gym class recently and had to meet with the school staff people who told him that some people were complaining about his T-shirt because it made them feel unsafe. So the little boy, he's 12. Listen to what he says as he goes to a hearing to try to defend himself and figure out what the hell's going on. Quote, yes, words on a shirt, we'll tell you what they are in a second. Words on a shirt made people feel unsafe. They told me that I wasn't in trouble, but it sure felt like I was. I was told that I would need to remove my shirt before I could return to class. When I nicely told them that I didn't want to do that, they called my father. Thankfully, my dad, supportive of my decisions, came to pick me up. What did my shirt say? 5 simple words. There are only 2 genders, unquote.
Thank you.
Then he goes on. Nothing harmful, nothing threatening, just a statement I believe to be a fact. He was told his shirt was targeting a protected class and was a disruption to learning. He says, who is this protected class? Mm-hmm. Are their feelings more important than my rights? Mm-hmm. I don't complain when I see when I see gay pride flags and diversity posters hung all over the school. I don't complain. Do you know why? Because others have a right to their beliefs just as I do. I was told he's 12. I was told my shirt was a disruption to learning. No one got up and stormed out of class. No one burst into tears. I'm sure I would have noticed if they had. I experienced disruptions to my learning every day. Kids acting out in class are a disruption, yet nothing is done. Why do the rules apply to one and yet not another?
Can we run him for president?
He's 12 in 7th grade.
Oh, please. She?
A boy.
A boy? That kid's going far.
I tell you what, and thank God his father said, whoa, hold on a minute here. Again,
what a point.
But again, a 12-year-old boy can do it. Come on, girls. I mean, the women of them, you've got to
What's the protected class that's more important than me? That's what, but who's more important than me?
Yeah.
How about my feelings?
Who's more important than a boy who thinks he's a boy and a girl who thinks she's a girl?
Who's the guy that we talked about? Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
I saw a video of him last night. He was at some school somewhere, and this, based for
Getting
want of a better word,
probably,
this queer got up.
Yeah.
He's about 16 with long hair. He thought he was a woman.
No,
and he thinks, well, okay, you say a woman is someone who can have babies. Well, what if she can't have babies? What if something's wrong? She can't have babies. Therefore, she's not a woman, is she? And, of course, someone behind there clapping. And Matt Walsh goes, okay, let me just say this. Most human beings are born with 2 legs, right?
Yeah.
Right. If they don't have 1 leg, something was wrong. They maybe lost it in war or cancer or something like that. But just because they have no legs or 1 leg doesn't make them not a human being anymore.
Right.
So a woman who can't give birth doesn't mean she's not a woman anymore. Yeah. It's just that something went wrong.
Yeah.
And do you not? And he goes, can you not grasp that? I mean,
No, they can't. It doesn't matter. The problem is they grasp it. It doesn't matter. They're spitting out. I mean, it's like a mantra.
Yeah.
But
It's a
again,
cult.
it doesn't make any
It's a
sense.
cult.
I mean, what is this tranny thing? And again, these things. It's the iPhone. This whole tranny thing, because every kid in America now has an iPhone and says, "Oh my God, they're picking on trannies," and so now the trannies have their own protected class. The iPhone. It's yesterday's cigarettes. I'm telling you, everything that's because we all get the same message, and children all have their own phone.
all right, let's see. Somebody asked here, I think it was Mark, where was episode 548? I said, well, it wasn't on YouTube because we had technical difficulties, but it was everywhere else. And Rocco says 548 was the clothing optional show. Thank God it wasn't on.
In fact, I got a lot of in fact, I've texted Flounder. I said, what happened to the show? I'm getting comments that it wasn't on, but he said he put it on, but it wasn't on YouTube. So that's why.
We're on YouTube now, though.
Yes.
And you know why? Because of Atlanta Custom Closets and places like that.
They keep showing up, and if they went to YouTube and said, "I'll fix your freaking closet," and YouTube said, "Atlanta Custom Closets, you rock, baby," that could have happened.
It don't matter what gender you are either. They'll come and build your closet for you.
We'll build your closet.
Atlanta Custom Closets, closetpro.net at 404-255-0589. For Atlanta Custom Closets, all you need closet-wise, hey, Mother's Day is when? This month?
Yeah, a couple of weeks. Well, the 14th, I think, or something. Well, where that 2 Sundays from now, I think.
Not that any of us in this room have to worry about it.
No, not the thing there.
I'm going to get a cake anyway.
Yeah. One more thing on those wacky Democrats. You might get a kick out of this. In New York State, there's a Westchester County Board of Legislators. The chairman of the leader of these Democrats in Westchester County in New York State is a woman named Catherine Borgia. She has had to step down from her leadership post and is blaming institutional misogyny in the wake of accusations that she didn't do enough to get to the bottom of a sexual scandal involving a staffer with this Westchester committee. Apparently, the staffer, a couple of months ago, was caught on video by a vigilante group tricking him into thinking he was meeting a 14-year-old girl to hook up.
Yep.
Now, the problem is the committee, this leadership committee, says that the chairwoman knew about it but never did anything about it until it was too late or it was too long, and so they want her to be punished for it. So they have kicked her, they basically made her resign. She says, every chair of this body will be seated knowing that if 9 colleagues disagree with any of the myriad decisions they make, they'll be removed at any time. I'm saddened that my colleagues chose to take the path that most endangers the work of this county. She called it completely misogynistic and blamed her for not doing enough. Here's what happened. The aide's name is Anand Singh. He's 33. And a group called OBL Global, which is a vigilante outing group, faked him up and allowed him to think he was meeting up with an underage girl in New Jersey who was 14.
Oh, wait. Osama bin Laden International?
No, yeah, it could be. Oh, yeah. OBL. To meet up with a 14-year-old girl, and they took video of the whole, secretly took video of the whole meeting transaction. It was actually a decoy. The messages became, and again, I just want to pass this along because someone tried to set me up on this once, but also I can't believe people are still falling for this. How could you
perverts?
But again, how could you be so stupid? Here's what happened. He thinks he's on the texting with a 14-year-old girl. Okay, the texting got more and more sexual in nature, and they had it all on video. He said, the man says, you're 14, I can definitely teach you a thing or two. And says, boy, I'll bet you weigh less than 100 pounds. He asked her if she was on birth control. And she says, what are you going to bring tomorrow? And he says, I can bring some toys, plan B. I'll see you in a bit there, baby girl. The video release shows that he, let's see, where's all this stuff? Well, anyway, he brought all those things with her, and then when I'll bring the toys and everything else, when they caught him, he has not been arrested. They referred the case to the FBI and the Attorney General's office, and the DA is looking into it, but he has not been arrested.
Is he claiming his last name's Singh?
S-I-N-G-H, yeah.
East Asian. Is he claiming this is my culture?
I
Bullshit?
don't know. I do not. He hasn't been arrested. They fired him. I mean, he lost his job. But so far, that's all that happened. But he shows up to have sex with a 14-year-old girl.
How do you spell the lady's last name that's been fired?
Her last name
You said Borgia.
is, yeah.
How you spell it?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a second. Why the hell can't I find my thing? I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. Her last
what she
name
said.
is Borgia. Borgia.
I mean, everywhere they
The
go.
whole this goes for like what 500,
To
800
Italy.
years or something.
Them and the Medicis.
In
Holy
fact,
cow.
Wasn't that the worst pope in the history of the world? Didn't it?
He balled his way in or
my
something
God.
and murdered
I
people.
remember there wasn't there an HBO series on
the
Borgias?
Borgias, yeah.
Oh my God.
In fact, it was the first son that got killed in Game of Thrones, I think, was the star of it.
Yeah. Well, they had popes who, had, girlfriends and concubines and
anti-popes
murderers.
I mean, please. They got a communist, a pervert sympathizer in there now as one.
Yeah, it's getting pretty weird. Anyway, I
Did you
thought
see
that
what oh my God, the U.S. Catholic Magazine, the organization of U.S. Catholic Magazine put out something the other day. What was it? They were not going to. Oh, St. Augustine. You know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he one of the animals?
Yeah.
Or is that
No, it's
Francis of Assisi? I think is the animal.
Assisi.
Anyway, St. Augustine is one of the great thinkers of the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
He was born
Florida,
in North Africa.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not African, except born in Africa. He's not sub-Saharan. He's not black. He's not. The U.S. Catholics have now the magazine has portrayed him now as not only African, but he's black.
Yeah.
And they said it, knowing full well he's not, they said it to decentralize the white power structure in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So they're going to literally change the reality of a saint so they can say, look how inclusive we are. There are so many blacks that have done so many things to be lauded for and say, look, there's an example of a black person doing fantastic things for his race in the world.
Right.
Instead,
but there aren't enough,
they
I
took
guess.
a white person.
We
They
need at
shoved
least one more.
blackface on him,
Yeah.
and they claim, there's a great black person doing something. How insulting to black people.
Well, it started when they, came out with pictures of Jesus that I remember growing up as a kid when I went to Sunday school every Sunday.
Blue-eyed,
blonde hair and blue
blonde
eyes.
hair.
I mean, the chances are pretty good. He looked like Yasser Arafat.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not attractive.
No, he looked like Ringo after a 3-day bender.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know that. But
Because I tell you what, Yasser Arafat and Ringo Starr could be twins. Twins.
They have a similarity of look. Also, there's been a tiny minor controversy now that Hollywood has decided to make Cleopatra a black woman.
Yeah.
The Egyptians are none too happy about that all of a sudden.
She's Macedonian.
Oh my God! The Egypt. So, whoa, wait a minute. She's
not black?
Stop. She's not. Oh, jeez.
Imagine. Okay, and all those people say this is great and wonderful. It's acting. Okay, great. It's acting. Next time you do a remake of Shaka Zulu, I want the tribal chieftain to be some Harry Styles.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
I want James Franco as his right-hand man in the tutu with a spear.
And by the way, this whole business that they're still falling for this stuff. Remember, Wayne No Offense was a producer when we were doing the show years ago, and I open up my emails all the time on the air. They have a screen to open up stuff, and I got an email one time during the show, and it was a picture of a sort of chubby, young-looking, really pretty brunette girl, big happy smile, wearing a beret, and she looked probably 15, 16. I mean, she definitely wasn't old enough. She wasn't 20. I mean, it clearly was a teenage girl, and just real pretty and cute and smiley and happy and everything else. And the text of it said something like, Kimmer, love your show. I heard you were just in the charity motorcycle ride. I would love to ride on the back of your Harley sometime because you really remember that. And here's please let me know or something. I clearly wanted to go for a ride on the back of my Harley. And so my immediate reaction was, fine. No. Okay. No, that would be wrong. Will you wear high heels? Just so I can take a picture. That was one of my, Kimmer Babe questions.
Okay, I'm imagining a puppy. And someone standing on the other side of an electric fence with a treat.
Yeah.
And you're going, oh, look, a treat. And poor Wayne has to grab your leash.
Right. So anyway, Wayne said, no. I'm writing back. And Wayne said, gee, young lady, it was very nice of you to write. Maybe your parents could and I could meet you one day at the next event. Maybe your parents could bring you to introduce me, and I'd be very happy, something like that. It was somebody was trying to set me up.
I wonder.
I'll bet you it was some hater, because they hate half the people listen because they liked the show and didn't know what we were going to do next. The other half hated my guts, apparently. So, but I guarantee you, it was somebody in a group or a cop or somebody trying to set me up and see whether I'd fall for it. Because this was, and again, I wouldn't.
And
have,
that was during the height of the To Catch a Predator.
Yeah,
type stuff.
I mean, so and I think they were trying to set me up, which is why you don't ever. But again, people are still falling for that. What a bunch of idiots. All right, whatever. One more kind of a Democrat cultural thing going on here, and then we'll do some other fun stuff here, possibly. Let's see which way I got. Okay, Democrat. In San Francisco, I think we might have mentioned this a little bit earlier. So many places, crime cities, especially in California, are getting so bad that major companies are fleeing. They're fleeing Chicago. They're fleeing San Francisco. And now here's the story behind Whole Foods in San Francisco has now fled the community. And here's why. Somebody took a look at their record. The Whole Foods market on Market Street. I know where I know where that is in San Francisco. Lived there for 2 years, 40 years ago. The calls to the store on Market Street over in the past year, 568 emergency cop calls in 1 year. That's 2 a day. Vagrants throwing food, people screaming, engaging in fights, going to the bathroom on the floor. One of the 911 calls, male with machetes back.
It's that man again.
It's the machete guy. It's OJ. He's back. Remember that? It's OJ again. He's back. He's killing me. And security guard just got beat up. A guy just overdosed on fentanyl in the bathroom. Knife-wielding guy just stabbed our security guard. Someone just sprayed our employees with a fire extinguisher 600 times in a year. And Whole Foods said, that's it. We're going. My God. They cut back their operating hours. They had to hire guards to take care of people. Criminals emerged stealing the booze. Giant baskets filled with stuff. They just walk out without. It's nothing. We just can't do anything. I mean, what the hell are you supposed to do?
Shoot them.
Oh, my God. In fact, speaking of these liberals, Flounder, did you have that soundbite? This from a few weeks ago. There's a news story about, speaking of the gender and liberals and so forth and voting for these Democrats. Why do you keep them in office? This is a complaint by a tranny who complained. Well, you'll complain about how the TSA agent going through the airport mishandled him or her. And here's, we'll have the story here for you just 1 second.
They punched her in the balls. A transgender woman was left in tears at the JFK airport after she claimed that a TSA agent punched her in the testicles while she was going through security. She later went to social media where she said, "Hi, so a TSA agent at JFK airport punched me in the genitals." The TSA has apologized for the incident, saying that the security agent did not mean to punch her in the testicles. The agent meant to punch her in the vagina.
Did you see? I think it's Italy. In Denmark, Copenhagen, they had the Little Mermaid statue, which every once in a while somebody tries to screw with, right?
Yeah, just recently, yeah.
They got a statue somewhere in Italy, and it's basically like a mermaid, but it's a curvy mermaid. It's a woman with curves.
Okay.
And there's people bitching that, and it's like, wait a minute. There are more curvy women than there are model waifs. Why do we always have to have the statues look like they're Twiggy How can they not have real
a statue
women?
should never look like a twig.
And
A
I'm telling
statue
you,
should
this
have
is
womanly
a
curves.
buxom mermaid,
Well,
too.
then good. God
Good.
bless her. What's the wrong? I mean, it's the old nourishing of the life out her
Please.
breast. I mean, feeding
Her.
the life of the guy. We have life on Earth because of their breasts.
Have you seen where the oldest
And
figurine?
Nature's window. I mean, let's not forget
The
nature's
oldest
window.
figurine we ever have is the lady with the big boobs and the big
The
round hips.
champagne glass is Madame Antoinette there from her breast. Do you know that? The champagne glass, the form of the champagne glass is Marie Antoinette's breast.
Oh, okay.
Check it out.
No, it's true. You're right.
That's right.
It's true.
And by the way, I was going to say something relating to this, and now I can't remember what it was because I got to do something else.
When you get champagne, I can tell you it's a really good champagne. It's got a real nice head on it. Too soon?
No. Her last words were, "Pardonnez-moi, monsieur." When it cut off her head, her last words, she stepped on the foot of the executioner, and she apologized, and they cut off her head.
You cannot convince me that they don't keep that once your head's cut off that you're
alive.
not still in there for a few seconds.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it's true. And by the way, one last kind of head game thing story here. Do we have to be off at 2? I mean, I got more. I got so much stuff here. There's a story on the Making the Wires today about scientists gaining insights into what genetic things we share with other creatures, what things we share with the animal world.
Penises.
And they looked at 240 species of animals and looked at the evolutionary timeline of findings between the genome sequences of animals and humans. They have found that all animal species over millions of years have certain regions of genomes that have stayed the same. 10% of the human genome, which is our makeup, 10% of our human genome is unchanged across species of animals as well. They give an example of a famous dog called Balto, who was that famous sled-carrying dog in 1925. He led a team of dogs carrying life-saving diphtheria serum in Nome, Alaska in 1925. They made a movie about him. He's got statues about him. His name is Balto. When he died, they did research on him and found that his genetics were way more diverse than other modern breeds and carried genetic variants that helped him survive harsh conditions, giving a guide to the genome comparative genetics, yielding even more research into the future. But the reason I mentioned this was because I saw it was on Nova, and this blew my mind. I think it was a fruit fly. Scientists have been able to take the brain of a fruit fly and copy it. And they've been able, in the laboratory, to duplicate, like cloning. They've been able to clone every neuron of a fruit fly, which is like hundreds of thousands or something. In the human brain, there are billions or trillion. I'm not sure we know. But here's the thing. They said, I couldn't believe this. Now I couldn't find. I tried to Google the research and I couldn't find it. What they said was what happened is when you can clone from someone's brain and clone an exact duplicate, that exact duplicate has all the memories, has all the feelings, has all the soul, has all the everything you're thinking right now is now in something else. Yep. And be able to keep life going forever, you take the clone and put it in an AI body. And you live forever. Yep. And they can do it. They can do it with maybe it's a fruit. It was some kind of a nothing little thing, but they cloned a duplicate. And if they clone the duplicate, you have all your feelings, all your memories, all your pain, all your love, all your tears. I mean, everything is now in another thing to be put into a body, and off you go. Holy criminy! Now that may be 1,000 years away or 5 years. I mean, but if they can do it in a thing, they can. At some point they're going to be able to do it in a brain. Yeah. Holy cow!
They're going to start. They got to work their way up. They're going to start with lower life forms and work out. Like they're going to start
worms, earthworms,
Dodger fans.
Yeah, it could work that way. All right, hold on a second. We got a girlfriend thing and some TV things, and there's a new series coming up on HBO called The Plumbers. And it's about the Nixon days. But again,
why not drag that out?
But again, look
at those bad Republicans.
But again, it could be one of those series. It's an HBO thing, so it could be one of those that like Breaking Bad, or that was one on Clinton and the presidency, and some of them are pretty good.
I don't know. I'm looking at Netflix and Amazon, and they're coming up with. They get these big stars and they put them in these little dramas, and every single one of them is mocking and crapping on Middle America.
Yeah,
every single one of them.
It's on tonight.
It's a horrible place.
The premiere's on tonight.
No one wants to be there. They're all trying to get out. It's all incest and murder, and they're backwards and they're racist. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, leave us alone. A quick word from one of our other sponsors, which we're so very, very glad to have on board here with us today. And then we'll get a Dear Abby thing go on, some history stuff. Excuse me. And...
What was that? What the hell?
And some everything. SwapMyWhip.com. What a great idea this is. Swap My Whip. Whip, of course, a colloquial phrase. What he meant to say was,
again.
It's the same thing as saying a car, a ride, locomotion. SwapMyWhip.com. If you've always wanted a certain kind of car and you maybe see one on the road and you're thinking to yourself, man, I'd love to get one of those, go to swapmywhip.com and you may find a like-minded car owner who has exactly the car you're looking for, who says, yeah, I'll trade with you, what the heck, or my brother has one you're looking for, or I've always wanted this and you've got one of those. You do your own thing. No middlemen, no salesmen, no dealerships. It's your own deal. Make up your own deal. You probably save yourself a bunch of money. And by the way, it's not just cars. Obviously, all kinds of cars, SUVs, station wagons, trucks, off-road vehicles, boats, jet skis, ATV, go-karts, electric bicycles, motorcycles, probably anything that you can ride is a whip. SwapMyWhip.com. And if you use the coupon code Kimmer, Kimmer, it's 180 days of free premium listings on SwapMyWhip.com. And again, thank you for your sponsorship. By the way, to get hold of us for anything, to contact us, to complain, to suggest, to be on with us or whatever, thekimmershow.net links us to everything. Contact us, Patreon, PayPal, all kinds of good stuff here too. Now, let's see, where was I? Let me do the dear thing here. It's a show tonight called White House Plumbers. I think it's HBO. Gesundheitser. It has Woody Harrelson's in it, Lena Headey, whatever her name is, Corbin Burnson from the old LA Law, Gary Cole, the guy who played Todd on Breaking Bad, who got real fat now in this thing. The little girl who played the daughter on Mad Men is in this series, White House Plumbers. And it's supposed to be like a dark comedy, perhaps. And there's a review, but let me read you a couple of quick reviews, because it sounded at first like this might be the kind of thing that would be good. But let me see if I can. Here we go. Plenty of good work here, but one is left with a feeling there's a terrific 2-hour movie buried underneath this uneven 5-part series. A frustrating and not wholly satisfying TV series. It looks back with embarrassment. White House Plumbers may include both ridiculous and true events, but we don't get enough to laugh about. A comedic, satiric take on the political crime that rocked the 70s, a new look at the Watergate break-in. Mutt and Jeff, Howard Hunt, and G. Gordon Liddy required several attempts to actually get in the door due to stupidity, silly fun. So it may be one of those dark comedy things. Shocking real-life events, stellar performances should spark a strong reaction, but likely nothing more than a shrug at best and slight annoyance at worst. So anyway, it's on. It's going to be on tonight, and I'll probably watch it just for the heck of it. Speaking of TV, Lucky Hank again was on last night. And it's in my craw. It's a very unusual series. And so it's different, and it's probably going to be great in the ratings. I haven't read anything about the ratings. I don't know whether it's being successful or not. I think it's like the third one, I think maybe. Anyway, and so again, his wife, they're happily married. He's a professor. His wife gets a job offer from her ex-boyfriend running a prep school in New York. So she takes a train in New York. They're at a bar and playing around with some other people, and the ex-boyfriend kisses the guy's wife on the mouth while she's on the phone with her husband. She admits it. Okay, and now all of a sudden, a weird event last night where she ends up in a restaurant and has to pretend to be somebody's a girlfriend because of a rather bizarre incident. And then she says, pretending to be somebody's girlfriend, says, you know what, I think we need to break up, and comes to the realization that she maybe does need to break up because of what happened all over this kiss by someone else for some guy's wife. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, ladies, things mean things. Stupid.
Timmer, first of all, it's a TV show.
I know.
Why are you watching a TV show to get you that work?
I know. Well, I may have to stop. But then,
entertainment.
here's how stupid people. Listen to this. Stupid. And again, I know I'm just stuck on this whole thing here. But anyway, okay. Dear Abby, my longtime girlfriend and I broke up. One of the reasons was because we didn't agree on a definition of cheating. She met a friend through work whom I met once, and when I saw and heard during the interaction, screamed he was a sleazebag who wanted to move in on my girl. I voiced my concerns, asked her to stop seeing this guy. She agreed. A week later, she renewed the friendship, communicating through Snapchat. For 6 months, she'd go have drinks with him, go places with him, and have conversations with him without telling me. She swears they never did anything physical. I had seen the signs. From time to time, I'd noticed she wasn't where she said she would be. The car would smell of smoke. We were growing apart. One day I had enough, agreed to separate. Since our first day apart, they have been together. I have told her she cheated on me and couldn't trust her. She insists she wasn't cheating, and I should have been more self-confident and trusting. When two people's definition of cheating differs, what do you do? Who is right? Dear Abby, you are! Your former girlfriend was sneaking around, seeing someone else on the side and lying about it. Liar. That's the definition of cheating.
Yep.
Gee. God.
People. Wise up. I know. But we're all the same way. We don't want to see it. When we're in that situation, you don't see it. You don't want to see it. You're willfully blind.
I'd rather be dead for the last 19 years. I swear to God. All right, now.
What? Where did that come from?
How about some birthdays? How about them birthdays?
Go for them birthdays.
How about them birthdays?
They're wild. They're crazy.
Tim, isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? Tim McGraw, married to Faith Hill. Tim McGraw is 56. He's Tug McGraw's son, the famous pitcher.
They didn't know him for a long
recently?
time.
And they were not close.
Yeah.
But I think didn't they have a thing at the end? And I
together.
think Tug just died recently, a couple of years ago or something. I think cancer or something.
Back.
Judy Collins. Won't even mention Judy Collins' story. 84 years old.
I
today.
have a couple of songs on my phone that I listen to away.
Both Sides Now?
Both Sides Now and Send in the Clowns.
Send in the Clowns. And there's one more.
Beautiful songs.
I love Send in the Clowns. Beautiful melodies and
she
beautiful
does it
words.
better than Sinatra.
Send in the Clowns. Yeah, I believe that. I agree with you there. His breathing in that song I didn't like. Send in the Clowns. Both Sides Now.
Well, you had to breathe, Kim, or you would have died.
No. But it's like Taylor Swift. If you listen to Taylor Swift's like "Shake It Off" and all her major songs, she takes breaths in the middle of a phrase. It's just
she
stupid.
sucks.
Well, anyway. Judy Collins, the other famous, great song that I love. In fact, I should put it on my magic stick. I'll bring it into Flounder. Both Sides Now. Send in the Clowns and.
Well, the sweet Judy Blue Eyes was for her, not her.
The cowboy song.
I don't know the cowboy.
What the hell's the name of it? It's a cowboy song about she falls in love with a cowboy and her parents don't want her to be in love with a cowboy. Oh, it's a great song. Flounder, if you would, sir. A little Googling.
You sure that's not the other one?
No, it's Judy Collins and it's a cowboy song. I can't remember.
What was the other big? Joni Mitchell. You sure one Joni
No,
Mitchell?
I guarantee you it's not Joni Mitchell. It's I love the song. Judy Collins song.
Someday Soon?
Someday Soon.
Okay.
Someday soon.
No,
He's going to find me someday soon. Love that song.
Save that. We'll play it later.
Yeah, I'll play that one for an event where we might be able to play it. Not that it's ever going to happen. And I got to talk to you, by the way, after the show. I need to solve issue. I'm freaking out.
Don't bring up issues.
No. I'm not. It's not. It's a good. It'll be fine. But I need 3 minutes. Don't be scared. Oh, speaking of Rita Coolidge, you were talking about Joni Mitchell. Rita Coolidge is 78 today, formerly married to Chris Christopherson. And by the way, speaking of men who didn't talk to their fathers, Chris Christopherson's father was a colonel in the Army, and they hated each other for years. Chris Christopherson, by the way, was an Army officer who taught helicopters. Dan Florek, remember him from Law and Order, and he was also L.A. Law. He played that geeky sales guy married to Corbin Burnsen's wife, secretary. Dan Florek, the bald guy from L.A. Law and Law and Order.
Oh yeah, character actor.
Yeah, he plays the lieutenant now on the Law and Order one of them.
We got a problem here. Mark says Johnny Mitchell is better. Johnny Mitchell was a better songwriter, but did not have a voice
not a good
like.
voice. Yeah, that kind of way.
Yeah, she had a okay voice, but not the voice of Judy.
No, Judy.
Please.
Those three songs, and I'm telling you that song. If you haven't heard "Someday Soon," look, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Jamie Dornan, 50 Shades of Grey cheater kink thing. Jamie Dornan is 50 today. Let's see. Why did I write down 41? 50 Shades of Cheater Kink, 41. I have no idea what it is. Julie Benz, who played Rita on Dexter, 51. She played his wife and kid.
Oh, she's been in 1,000
Yeah, she's
things.
a lot of other things, too. I hated her character on Dexter. She's just so mousy and, oh, God, shut up. Paul Tuttle. Remember the series American Chopper? He was the old man in the Building American Chopper series. Paul Tuttle and his kid Paul
Always
Jr.
reminded me of Shannon.
Yeah. Paul, yeah. Well, he was like Shannon Burke. Paul Tuttle is 74.
Damn.
Yeah. See, in history, 2003, President W. Bush gets on an aircraft carrier, the USS Abe Lincoln, announces mission accomplished. The war in Iraq is basically over, and of course, that was really not very smart. 1941, Navajo Indians become the first code wind talkers recruited by the U.S. Marines to work the Pacific Theater so the enemy would never understand our messages. 1960, the Soviets shoot down an American spy plane and capture the pilot Gary Powers. 1961, speaking of Mayday, in Cuba it was a beauty on this day in 1961. Fidel Castro announced that from now on, boys and girls, we're too busy leading the revolution to have any more elections in Cuba. So from now on, Cuba is now a socialist country. Congratulations. All you Catholic priests are being kicked out of the country. All the Catholic and all the private schools are now, just like all the Democrat and teachers' union schools, like in America, socialist, secretive, and anti-family.
What a waste of time that was. The Catholic ones were just like they were communists too.
There you go. 1967, Elvis Presley marries his longtime girlfriend, Priscilla Ann Billula, who had just turned 21 and married in a Las Vegas ceremony. Elvis was 32. And she was 21, and when she was 14, I was wondering.
Well,
the parents
the adults
knew
were there.
They said, "That's okay, you can have her, can take her because
No,
it's Elvis."
they said they could date. They could go to the movies and
I
hold
know
hands.
that they would. I'm sure.
I don't know.
I'm
you never,
sure.
You don't know. You weren't
yeah,
there.
It lasted 4 years. Gee, I wonder why he broke up. Why they broke up.
But you know what? They stayed friends.
Yeah, and I, God bless her. I mean, I'm happy. I guess she's still going strong. And she became a very famous comedian actress. And
Naked
great.
Gun.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Police Squad.
Leslie
whatever.
Nielsen, the Naked Gun.
Yeah. A Naked Gun, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. 1863, the Battle of...
See, keep moving.
1863, the Battle of Chancellorsville began under General Robert E. Lee. This was the battle in which Stonewall Jackson was shot by his own troops and died.
I know. The war might have been vastly different.
Yeah. And again, you got to remember in 1863, if you got shot in the arm, you probably were going to die.
I mean, the South had the two best generals.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Since Napoleon.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Well, of course, they were West Pointers. I mean, Robert E. Lee, Anyway. 1889, Asa Candler published a full-page ad in the Atlanta Journal saying that he was the sole proprietor of Coca-Cola Company, delicious, refreshing, exhilarating, invigorating, unquote. His full ownership to buy Coca-Cola cost $2,300.
There's a video you can go on
1889.
YouTube where they do the original recipe from the 1800s, and I didn't
With
finish
cocaine?
watching it. I think there's cocaine.
There's cocaine in it. That's why they call it Coca. It came from the Coca plant. Cocaine plant? It had cocaine.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to say anything. 1952, the production of Mr. Potato Head began, and he would later become president of the United States.
Wait a minute. The what now?
1952, they started making Mr. Potato Head.
Well, because the first ones were potatoes.
Well, But now they made a plastic one with all the parts in it.
Oh, okay.
And they
They
sold
used to
you.
just give you the parts.
Well, no, they would sell you the parts for the potatoes, and then they started making a plastic with all
Okay, I
the
was
parts
about to
too.
say.
But again, they used to sell the parts to the actual potato.
Because I'm thinking
I
if they
remember
just
doing
started
it.
making potatoes in 1952.
I used to do it.
We lost a lot of good Irishmen for no reason.
I used to do that. I remember sticking things in a potato.
Oh, hell yeah.
Little feet and eyeglasses or something.
We usually stuck forks and then
Yeah.
put butter in them. But
Yeah, there you go. 1992, on the third day of the LA riots, the media called mostly peaceful protests by the victims of white supremacy. Rodney King appealed for calm. Can we all get along?
get along.
In the end, 11,000 people were arrested and 54 people died. Remember beating up Reginald Denny, pulling him out of the truck cab of his truck and beating him with a
what
a
should
big?
have-
Oh,
that's what
God.
should have happened
And then
to, Red-
celebrating. Remember, doing the cakewalk. You know, it's, oh my God.
And we were supposed to just say, that's okay.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah, no big.
happen, you know.
Shit happens.
Just being America.
Right.
Anyway, boys.
Did you know in 1929,
Yeah.
the Goodyear blimp was flying around then?
Okie dokie.
And they made a mistake of flying over the
Some southern,
Everglades. The Everglades. And guess what happened?
What happened with the Everglades, I wonder?
The Seminole Indians opened fire on
oh,
it. It had to go to Miami and land and patch the bullet holes.
oh my
and it
Lordy.
happened again.
Oh, no.
So Goodyear literally went in the Everglades and invited the Seminole chiefs and other tribes people to come to the airport and have free
Smart.
rides in the blimp to keep
Smart.
them from shooting
Well,
it.
you would think. Yeah.
Oh, yesterday I pulled a trick on the boys and I felt kind of bad about it.
What
but
happened
It was
now?
funny. Well, I put it's a photo of
Yeah.
a bed sheet.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, all right. It was a picture of a bed sheet, and it had it was encircled. There was a big red circle around it. It's like you see a sign with a big red circle, and an X means no parking, or, a big red circle around would look like a patterned bed sheet, and that's all it said. As I recall, you sent out a picture. There was no words. There was no word. It was just a picture of a patterned bed sheet of like flowers and little lines and stuff, and like a corner of a bed, and then there was a red circle around it. And so I looked at it and I said, what the? And so I said, I thought of airplane. And so I texted back to Pete. I said, well, I can make a duck, I can make an airplane, I can make little things I can make out of the pattern. And did Flounder, did you even react to this? I don't think he even.
He reacted. You said, what did you see?
I saw a horribly decorated bedroom.
Yeah, something
that's
like
what he
that. And then so Pete says,
You didn't see a hula hoop?
That
There
was
was a
the-
hula hoop.
that was
in
the
it,
obvious,
picture.
though.
And it looked like a red circle around it to gather your eyesight. And said he put it there to show a hula hoop
Yeah, it was a hula hoop.
because you found one or what?
No, because
where'd it come
I
from?
knew because if you see something like that, you gaze in at what it's circled,
Yeah.
and you
Oh, so
don't
the-
see the circle.
So the whole
Forest
point
for
of
the
the
trees.
picture was the hula hoop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got the attention of people who were there for spent time
spent
thinking about what the hell was going on, and then reacting when they found out you just wasted all that time because there's a picture of a hula hoop and you didn't get it.
Yes, sir.
I remember the first time I tried a hula hoop, I couldn't do it.
I
All the
could-
girls could do it. Every girl I
girls
knew
can
could
do
do
it.
it, and boys couldn't do it.
Their hips work different than ours.
Well, it's a story of my life.
Well, we have straight hips, and they have hips that bend out a little bit. If they're women.
if I get some cash, I'm gonna look into that whole girl thing again.
Daryl asked a musical question.
All right, sir.
Are you supposed to pray over leftovers?
Absolutely, it's bounty given to you for the Lord's work.
But he says, Lord, it's me again with this spaghetti.
It's like the kid who told his father he should pray for things for gifts for Christmas, but it would be wrong. So instead, the kid said, "All right, I'll just steal a bike and pray for forgiveness."
All right, here's some things I found over the weekend.
All right.
Okay. What's Peter Pan's favorite place to eat?
Tinkerbell. Oh, that was
Close.
wrong. I'm sorry.
Close. Wendy's.
See, great minds think alike.
You've got to respect blind prostitutes. I mean, you really have to hand it to them.
Oh, hey, hi-oh.
What does a robot do after sex?
Decompress.
He nuts and bolts.
Oh, hey.
He likes that.
Hi-yo.
Why don't boxers have sex the night before a fight?
Well, to save their strength.
Well, they just don't like each other.
Oh, they've been fighting all the time.
What do you call 100 rabbits walking backwards?
I don't know.
A receding hairline.
Oh, my God.
A dung beetle walks into a bar and asks, "Is this stool taken?"
Oh, hey.
How do you get 4 elephants in a Mazda?
One at a time?
2 in the front, 2 in the
2
back.
in the back. Thank you.
How do we not know that communism was a bad idea? There were so many red flags.
Red flags, ladies and gentlemen.
How do you know there are 8 elephants inside the church?
Count them?
There are 2 Mazdas parked outside. And here's what I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm on the way home and I said, I need to get me one of those collapsible hand trucks to move all my
Okay.
stuff around.
Good idea.
They're only like $50, no big deal. Why didn't I have one before I loaded all these stuff?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, what was it? It's Saturday afternoon,
Yep.
about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the car after I get it, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to eat. And I hear a woman yell behind me, a young woman. "Ah!" So I look in the rearview mirror, and I see a girl in a beautiful orange dress.
Yeah.
And I look behind me, there's a girl in a prom dress going in the Home Depot.
So what time of day?
About 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I guess it's prom night.
Is there prom night then?
A couple minutes later,
Yeah.
an even better good-looking girl gets out of the same car. She's got one, and she goes, I'm going, what
In a
the
Home
hell
Depot?
would you need in a Home
On
Depot?
the way to the prom.
Yeah.
Dressed up for the prom.
Yeah.
Well, batteries? I don't.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I don't know.
They had the ones like you get 500 for $20.
An ice chest? Maybe
Oh,
so they can
Yeti.
stock up for the hotel room when their parents think they're still dancing or whatever.
Yeti. Okay,
Yeah.
one more bad joke.
All right.
This is blue. It's very blue, I'm warning you. Why aren't there any pregnant Barbie dolls?
I think I know this one. It's something about because Ken is something right.
Ken comes in another
Another
box.
a whole different studio.
All right, well, I do the truly tasteless joke of the day. Flounder will find us one of our jokes.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Oh, here's another blue one. What do a blowjob and Eggs Benedict have in common?
An Eggs Benedict. Let's see. You got to crack something open to get to the good side. I don't know.
They're the only 2 things you never get at home.
Hell! Allegedly.
All right, so
mercy.
April 17th, the last one.
Oh, my God. April 17th, the last one.
We're on a date.
Hush, Lucas. Oh, hello, Lucas. Lucas is visiting me here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how you doing there, guy? He's turning the computer on.
Hi, Lucas. Oh,
I don't know where we are
Oh, we've
here.
got kitty treats.
All right, April
Here.
17th.
Look at this. Look at this.
Go to
We've
the
got
bottom where the 2 are on the date, because we did the pizza one. That was the last one we did last week.
treats. Oh, you big goof.
Okay.
I got treats.
We did the date one.
Did we?
Yes, we did. All right, so do the one after that.
Are you gonna be? Are you the me or the wife?
I'll do me.
Okay.
All right. Have you heard of Murphy's Law?
Yeah.
What is it?
If something can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Have you heard of Cole's Law?
No, what's that?
Thinly sliced cabbage and mayo.
Coleslaw. Oh my God.
All right, let's do the next one.
Okay.
Coleslaw.
Let's see. Dad, why is my sister's name Rose?
Because your mother loves roses.
Thanks, Dad.
No problem, BJ.
I love it. Boys, any final thoughts? All right. I
No.
love it. God bless America. Hoorah, I gotta go. You're killing me. Look out.